In front of you are the 3 barbells I've been using for the past several months in my training. One of these bars costs $40, another costs over $400, and the third was made in the 1980s. Can you tell which one is which? Go ahead and drop a comment with your best guess. Which of these bars, A, B, or C, is the $40 bar, the $400 bar, and the 1980s bar? What's up everyone, Joe Gray here today to talk about barbells. When I started my home gym journey a little over 10 years ago, I remember digging in deep into barbells to try and find the perfect bar for my home gym. When we're talking about barbells, it can get pretty crazy pretty fast, especially since every single manufacturer out there offers a bunch of different options for barbells. Rogue alone has 47 different options just under their men's 20 kilogram barbell offerings. These are different barbell types, different purposes for use, different colors, different coatings, different finishes, different sleeves, different lengths, different weights, all kinds of different stuff that can make the barbell buying experience pretty chaotic and crazy. Add in that you can buy a bar from Rogue, Rep, Fringe, Bells of Steel, Alico, Ivanko, Vulcan, Kabuki, Amazon, and Walmart, and a whole list of other companies out there. And then your options are multiplied significantly, and you probably legitimately have well over 1,000 options when looking at a barbell for your home gym. Today we're going to go through a little bit of a science experiment with my barbells. I'm going to show my last month of training, how that's played out using these different bars as we kind of walk through what they are, again, their differences, their similarities, etc. So then that way you can decide what kind of barbell owner you will be and what bar you should look into for your home gym. While this video is geared towards my newer friends in the home gym space, it is also, I think, going to be enlightening for a lot of you who have purchased home gyms and spent maybe hours and hours and hours thinking about and trying to find the perfect barbell for your home gym. Maybe I can help you out as well. So stick around, see how the science experiment goes, and let's get into it. The very first bar I bought for my home gym was a cheap barbell I bought off Craigslist. I didn't know any better at the time. I just bought a bar and it worked. It cost me $50, which makes me laugh because this bar right here cost $45 brand new, shipped, taxed, everything delivered to my door just last year. Did you get that one right? $45 bar? Okay. That's our first test. This is a Balance from BF OB7 from Walmart. Right now it is listed at $99 brand new, which still makes it a solid 4 times less than my most expensive bar. The website claims it is a black zinc plated, which it obviously isn't. This is a chrome plated barbell. It claims to weigh 45 pounds and clock in at 84 inches in length. It has a 700-pound weight capacity. And if we take a close look, we can see the chrome is already peeling off on the ends after just a few months of use. Several years into my home gym journey, when I started to get a little pickier on some of the stuff I had, and I actually started to get into the vintage weights realm a bit, I snagged what is currently my daily driver barbell, right in front of you here, the 1980s Ivanko OB84. That's number 2. Did you get that one right? All right. This again cost me roughly $50 off Craigslist, but this bar has what was at some point considered aggressive knurling, but today is probably more similar to the chewy bar from American Barbell, where the bar really sticks in your hand instead of specifically biting back. This bar has a black oxide coating, which, after 40 plus years of lifting, has only a couple of spots that have worn down. I can't confirm the specs on this bar because, again, it was made in the 80s, but I wager this bar is rated for over 1,000 pounds and it clocks in at a perfect 7 foot and 20 kilograms. And our last bar for today, this is the Texas deadlift bar. at over $400. Did you get all three right? Nicely done if you did. I got this bar as a gift from some friends a couple years back. It is meant to be used exclusively for deadlifts, hence Texas Deadlift Bar, as it has some unique features, including a thinner diameter, wider spacing, more what they call whip to the bar, and a much more aggressive knurl pattern. The Cerakote coating was because we get weather fluctuations here in Northern California, and I didn't want to deal with oxidation. This bar is my go-to for deadlifts. All right, so we've got three bars that on paper are quite a bit different. You've got an over $400 bar that is used for one lift. You've got a $45 bar that can be used for any of the lifts. And you've got a bar that's approaching or maybe even over 40 years old. From a peer specs list, these bars differ pretty much every way possible. Coating, length, weight, tolerances, knurling patterns, purpose, all kinds of stuff. But my science experiment today is geared towards finding out, does any of that even matter? Do the specs of the bar translate into something that actually matters in the real world from a performance stance? Does it impact how much weight you can lift in the big three lifts, squat, bench, and deadlift? A little history for you in terms of my past lifting and these bars. I pulled my first 600-pound deadlift with that Avanco bar. I then, a year later, pulled 630 with the Texas Deadlift Bar. I have squatted 550 with the Avanco bar and benched 360, 370 with the Avanco bar as well. So the Avanco bar has seen like a combined 1,500 pound total over the course of several years. Again, my best deadlift to date is with the Texas Deadlift Bar. But the real test was going to be, could this $45 bar that I got hang with the others? Can it do what it needs to do in a gym like mine with a lifter like me? I am preparing for the fall 2024 Garage Gym competition using Juggernaut AI, and I used the last strength block, so a full 4 weeks of training, specifically doing every single core lift with this $45 bar. So squats, bench, and deadlift, including my 10 RPE sets, which for those of you not familiar with RPE, simply means I put maximum effort into what it told me to do. So I filmed those. Let's take a look. For squats, as I mentioned, my best so far is a 550-pound single. Juggernaut AI at the end of this block had me load up 500 for a triple. As you can see, the bar handled the weight, sat on my back just fine, and I had no issues. All throughout this training block with squats, I hit multiple 400+ pound sets, this 500 for a triple. I never once felt like the bar was going to roll off my back, bend in half, or otherwise not do its job in the squat realm. So you passed the first test. On to bench. For bench, my best again is about 360. Juggernaut AI had me load up 330 pounds for a triple here. Again, no problems. I will say that while this bar performed and did the lift it needed to, it didn't exactly stick in my hands as well as my Avanco bar. It got the job done, but I was left wanting a little bit more from it. Okay, so the $45 bar passed the first two tests, squats and bench. Let's see how it does with deadlifts. As I mentioned, I've pulled over 600 pounds before. Juggernaut AI loaded up 565 for a double for me for this 10 RPE set. I had absolutely no problem pulling that first rep, and the second one you can see got all the way up to my knees and I had to put it back down. Unfortunately, the weak or kind of passive knurling on this bar made it really difficult to hold onto. Now, part of that is probably because I've been using the Texas Deadlift Bar for a while. I've been lifting for so long, I've got some nice meaty calluses. But in general, this bar just couldn't do the things I needed it to do in the deadlift. Even with chalk and all kinds of stuff, it just wouldn't hold on. To confirm this test, to make sure I wasn't just weak that day, I actually, right after missing this lift, unloaded all the plates and then loaded them back up onto my Texas Deadlift Bar. I did no more warm-ups, I did nothing, I literally just threw it all back on took a quick breather, and then went for it again. You can see here that I crushed a double with some more room. I probably, honestly, if this would have been the first attempt at this weight for a double, would have went for 4. So this $45 bar passed the first 2 tests for squat and bench, but struggled in the deadlift realm. Now, again, this is a 560 plus pound deadlift for a double. I did get the single, so it handled a 500 pound squat, 330 bench, and 565 deadlift without hesitation. Okay, where does the science experiment take us? Well, when you take a look at a barbell, or 3 in this case, if you look at it from a distance, they have sleeves that spin, they have knurling on the shaft, they likely have ring marks as well. The majority of barbells from a distance are going to have a very common design. Take a few steps closer and differences start to arise. We have different coatings on the bar for oxidation protection. We start to notice differences in the sleeve length. The rings on the shaft are in different places as well. We notice different mechanisms to hold the sleeve to the shaft. We might even notice bushings or bearings. Take an even closer look and the diameter of the bars starts to differ. The weight between the bars differs. We can see different styles of knurling. This can come in an absurd number of patterns, styles, densities, placements on the bar itself, and what the cool kids call aggressiveness. We start to pay attention to how much slop the sleeves have on the shaft, how tight the fit is to the plates. We take notice of whether the sleeves have ribs or are smooth. The further back we get, the more each of these bars looks the same, and the closer we get, the more we notice the finer details. There are 3 types of people that I think should get closer to their barbells. First is competitive lifters. If you lift in weightlifting or powerlifting or even CrossFit and they use a certain type of bar in competition, using that bar in your training can help. By becoming accustomed to that bar, how it moves, how it spins, how it holds into your hand or maybe doesn't, the knurling, all these different things, that can give you a competitive advantage over everybody else. Number 2 is for advanced lifters. So someone like myself who is lifting and pushing the boundaries of their own genetic potential. If you are approaching those limits where PRs come in small doses throughout multiple years, then spending money on a specific barbell, a bar with better knurling or better specs tailored to an individual lift may pay off. Having a dedicated squat bar, bench bar, and deadlift bar starts to make more sense as you approach some of those further levels of athletic development in lifting itself. And number 3 is for our friends who got all 3 of the bars correct from our intro test. If you are a barbell aficionado, someone who enjoys digging deep and understanding and diving into the TPI and the knurling patterns and understanding the difference between volcano and mountain knurling and the spin, and you love Brandon Campbell's sound tests of barbells to determine quality construction and all kinds of stuff. If that's you, 100%, it's okay to buy a bar that's fancier, nicer, etc. because you want to, not need to. For everybody else, you just need to buy a bar. I proved here today that even a $45 cheap, no-name garbage barbell will hold up to the vast majority of lifts. Some lifters and data people have compiled some numbers over the years that will tell us that it is less than 1% of the population that will ever hit a 500-pound squat, 315 bench, and 500-pound deadlift. So from a pure statistics data perspective, there's a very large chance that you are not that lifter and may never be. And that's not me trying to talk down to you or talk me up. It's just being realistic. You probably don't need to buy the really expensive bar. You just need to buy a bar and use it on a regular basis. You are not going to find the perfect barbell for you right out the gate, and I don't know that that bar even exists. The time that most of you will spend researching and reading and digging through all of the specs to try to find that perfect barbell could have been used actually lifting weights and eating food. Two things that will actually help you lift more weights and produce more gains over the long haul. Okay, let's wrap this up. This video was part science experiment, part informational barbell piece, as well as a whole big soapbox stance from my end in terms of barbells. So what do I want you to take away from this video? I don't want you to leave the day thinking that I hate barbells or that I lift with a cheap bar all the time. I am most certainly getting rid of the $45 bar and going back to my trusted two of the Avanco bar for squats and bench and the Texas deadlift bar for deadlifts. That said, I also don't want you to think that you have to spend multiple hundreds of dollars to get a quality bar. There are decent offerings from a lot of different companies, and if you've never really handled a bar before and you're lifting under 200 plus pounds for pretty much every lift, that $45 bar is gonna do you plenty fine, maybe forever. If you fall into one of my three categories where you should buy a better bar, I'm gonna go ahead and pass you off to somebody else that knows more about that category than I do. You'll probably see that on my website, I actually don't have any barbell reviews. That's just not an area where I spend a lot of time focusing on. I'm gonna send you to people like Adam at Garage Gym Lab, JB at GarageGyms.com, Gluck at Gluck's Reviews, Brandon from Basement Brandon, Kurt from KurtLocker, and a handful others. I'll have links to their channels in the description below, so if you're looking for more, you can dig in there. You can also join some of the communities online, so the Home Gym Discord or Reddit or Home Gym, where I'm a moderator myself. We have regular discussions about barbells and different things, and you can always come over there and ask questions and get info from like-minded home gym owners that can help point you in a good direction. And for the rest of you, just buy a bar. It probably doesn't matter that much which one you buy. Either buy a bar you like the looks of, so maybe it matches the color or aesthetic that you're choosing for your gym, or buy a bar from a company that you are already buying the majority of your equipment from, or you can always buy one used as well. Great option to try and save some money. And with that, hopefully I didn't trigger or hurt the feelings of too many of my friends out there today. I know a lot of you really like barbells. I just try and play that devil's advocate piece sometimes to make sure that people coming into this space don't feel kind of claustrophobic or forced into spending money that they really shouldn't or don't need to. So if you like today's video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more like this and additional product reviews coming your way, just probably not on barbells, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll be back with more Home Gym Awesomeness for all of you very soon. Peace.